moved into this neighborhood, there's a water problem here, as there is with many places in this area, that water doesn't like to drain off. So you get wet spots. And when you get these wet spots, it can cause plants to die. It's difficult to dry out. And so when we first moved in here, we brought in about 6 dump truck loads of topsoil to remedy that problem. So anyway, that's what we did. We also took out a chain link fence that went all the way around the backyard, and I'll talk about that more when I get back there. So here are some things. Here is a coleus and a terina, and I just love doing the mixed things in pots. Many times I don't even think about what I'm putting together, and I'll give you an idea where I kind of made a mistake down here in just a minute. Some of you know that this purple basil can be invasive, but it's so pretty, and I love having the color spread out. So what I do is I go in there and pull it out, and I make sure I pull it all out before it blooms, because I don't want it to spread. It still spreads. This is a gorgeous Santa Cruz tuber begonia, which is one of my favorites. And we grow these at the greenhouse at school, and I just had a lot of them that didn't get big enough to sell, so I just potted them up, gave away a bunch, and brought them home, and I'll probably be giving some more away. The Jew there. So this was given to me by a friend, and it's called trumpet flower, or Brunsmania, if I'm saying that correctly, which is a really gorgeous thing. And I've never had one bloom this early, so I was so excited. And I don't have a pink one, I have a yellow one, but I'm very excited about that plant. And this is one of my planters, which I'm pleased with. But what I want to say is, as far as texture, I really think I should have put something a little bit more bold in the center of that pot. So Ganzia is one of my favorites, and of course Coreopsis and the Zahara zinnias, which are also one of my favorites. All these things I grow at school. The salvia behind it is a pink lady, and she will set seeds everywhere, so I don't even really have to plant that one. I love the tobacco flower, Nicotiana, which is another favorite. I know that my foxgloves look pretty bad right now. My husband's just dying to cut them down, but I can't cut them down until July because I want the seeds to dry so that I can spread them out and grow them for next year. But gosh, were they gorgeous. Here is a petunia that we grew at school this year. This is a new one, and it's got a little tiny spot of white in it, but to me it's not enough to be that showy. So I'm going to just kind of walk through here and show you what I got. A lot of my perennials, I look for perennials on sale in garden centers, and then I also get pieces and parts from other people. My husband's always bringing in perennials. I don't know what this one is, so I'm anxious to see it bloom. He's really excited about it. Here's a pink eye garden phlox, which I love. I bought that one last year at Ace. And of course, what would a garden be without lantana? So resilient. Salvia, zinnia. I really don't expect this front garden to be gorgeous for another 2 weeks at least. It'll take to get these things big enough to be pretty. I want to show you my dahlias. Aren't they gorgeous? I've just been watching them, and typically I have a bicolor. I don't know if it's just a sport that comes off of the yellow one, but I haven't seen that one blooming yet. But they are gorgeous. Love them. Zinnias. I love zinnias because they do reseed. And I don't know if you guys have this problem or not, but my cat just loves it when I mulch the bed so that he can go in there and use the potty. Drives me crazy. So I'm going around the side of the house now, and here are my hibiscus, my native hibiscus that live here naturally. I don't know if they're native, but I know that they do thrive here year round. They come back every year and they will reseed. The black knot salvia, which I have to pull because I have so much of it that comes up. It's almost invasive, but I love it. So we just spread it around the yard and we pull out the extras, get rid of them. Of course, my butterfly bush, it's already had one big bloom, so it's getting ready to put off some new blooms now. I have to show you this tree. This is my favorite tree in my whole yard. It's my Japanese maple. And I got this tree as a seedling from my grandmother, who grew it from a little baby that she dug up somewhere in some parking lot. And she grew it in her backyard. And before she died, she gave me this tree and said, oh, you've got to take this home. And I've got another one in a minute. I'll show you that one too. So let me tell you a little bit about my backyard. This was all mucky, wet mess. So we actually still have a problem with water because it's a low area. And so we let the grass grow high here so that it can absorb as much water as possible. I don't think people understand that plants absorb water. So if you got a water problem, you need plants in there to absorb it. Here's my astilbe, which is doing well this year. Some impatiens. Of course, this azalea was kind of a twig, and it's grown to be beautiful in the last 10 years. My hydrangea, which is not really as pretty as it usually is, but I don't know if it's just not blooming all at the same time. That's the big problem. Here my husband brings home so many plants that he digs up from areas that he's renovating and they don't want them, so he brings them home. So here I have a Japanese maple. Behind it I have an oleander, which I've had for the last, I don't know, at least 5 years. And that oleander is, it died all the way back. It was outside all winter, and it's come back out, so I'm excited to see it blooming again. My camellia, which I absolutely adore, it blooms in November. Some ginger, a succulent bowl, and then in here I've got another planter, and this is what I'm talking about. I really wasn't thinking too much. I think I was just trying to get plants in pots so I could get them growing. My lobelia, I bought that from Ace. It was a big pot. It's just a normal lobelia, but it was so beautiful I couldn't resist it. And this is a really neat little flower. I want you to see this one. Isn't that pretty? This was given to me from a friend, and he gave it to me so that we could do cuttings and grow it and sell it at school to keep it going. I don't ever really see these in the garden centers, but that's what we do. It's kind of a stock plant at school. Here is a really pretty double, I don't know if you can see that, double bloom begonia, and it's doing really well. I want to show you something though that I'm so proud of. See this little bloom right here? I just love that little, it's a campanula. And it will take a lot of shade, but it's a perennial that blooms this time of the year. And of course it's beautiful. And here's another one of my most favorite begonias. I love begonias because they're so tough and they're always pretty. And this one will grow quite large this summer. It'll get at least 3 times bigger than it is right now. Here's another tree that my husband brought home from Lord knows where. I love this little baby. She just pops up wherever in the summer, and just a brilliant lime green color with little teeny tiny pink blooms. Let's see. Some more. Another angel wing begonia and my coleus. I love coleus and I love angel wing begonias. And of course, here's some more things. This is a rock patio that my husband built years ago for us, and it's just so wonderful. I have a little seating area back here next to my oak leaf hydrangea that I like to hang out. We actually installed a mister system back here, so when it's really hot we can still sit out here and enjoy it. my night blooming cereus, which has already bloomed once. It'll probably bloom at least 3 or 4 times before it goes dormant. And here we go. Oh, look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? That's a tuber begonia. No garden should be without them. And of course, we put them in hanging baskets at school when we sell them. Oh, this is apple blossom begonia. It's a double. Isn't that beautiful? It's pretty much in full shade back here. This is a new area. We lost some trees back here, so we have sun now. And so we decided to go ahead and we have some beds that we just added this year, which you can see these marigolds. I had a bunch of marigolds left over at school, so just decided to plant them. My husband can't stand to throw anything away. More zinnias, which they're going to mature and get a lot bigger. My azaleas go all the way down through here. We've had azaleas here for the last 15 to 20 years. I raise rabbits, so I do have a little section in the backyard that I have for rabbits. This bush is huge. It's at least 7 to 8 feet tall and probably that wide. And I'm not a big fan of euonymus, but it's wonderful for a backdrop. Here we have the bee balm blooming. It's gorgeous right now. And I've got Japanese beetles, so I'm trying to be very careful about, I've got to spray for some things to get the Japanese beetles away. I like to use organic sprays if possible. This is a pineapple sage, which will bloom later in the summer. I don't know the name of this, but isn't it cute? Love it. So I have lots of perennials in this bed, and one of my little bargains when I was shopping is a viburnum and a hydrangea side by side. They were nothing but dead twigs in a pot when I picked them up, and I didn't realize they were going to get that big. So I just have to keep trimming the bottom limbs so that my perennials will still get some light. And of course, I could not survive without my petunias. I absolutely love them. This color is a new color for me, and I just love it, and I'm going to make sure I plant more of that one next year. And of course, coneflower and ice plant. I love ice plant, and we had that at school. We're propagating it, so we still have it. And azuratum and some more zinnias. And of course, here's the foxglove. It's going out, but you can see, so beautiful. This is my pride and joy. It is a arbovita, probably like a green luster or something, but it's huge. But it was in the front of my house when we moved here. We moved it to the back because I told my husband it's going to get way too big, and of course it has. And this is a beautiful spot for it. So, take you down to the last garden. This is my vegetable garden. It's not very big, but it serves its purpose. So I've got asparagus back there, and squash and peppers and cucumbers, and you'd be amazed at how much you can grow in a small space. The story of my garden wouldn't be complete if I didn't show you this flower. And actually, this is a few days after I took the first video. I just want you to see it because it's just now starting to bloom.